Blind date from hell. I remember entering into Caliente restaurant with the thought of meeting up with a gorgeous young lady and enjoying our evening together. But boy, was I wrong. Vanessa was gorgeous. However, that evening was a living nightmare. There in the center of the restaurant, seated, was Vanessa, who waved at me the very moment she spotted me. My heart raced a little because of her beauty that smacked me like an 18-wheeler. She smiled from the mere sight of seeing me. Never before did we meet before that very moment. It was all by chance that we even spoken with one another a few days before when I called my boss to let him know that I was going to be late for a meeting. But instead of me dialing his number, I accidentally called Vanessa. My boss's number ended with a 0, but I dialed a 1 instead. And now I'm looking back at it, and I wish I had dialed 0 instead. What was just an accidental phone call turned into a 4-hour-long conversation because Vanessa's voice was very enticing. Vanessa intrigued me with her mindset. She came off as being independent, driven, and highly successful. She mentioned having her own dental office and being a dentist for just over 4 years. She also told me that she never been married before, she was single. I told her about myself, being a neurologist, and the sparks between us lit up. That great conversation led to a few others the next day and the day after that, and now we're here. We didn't send any pictures of ourselves to each other. We just agreed to wear the colors red and black. She described herself to me, and she was precisely how she described herself to be. I approached her at our table, and she stood up to greet me with a hug. She informed me that she already ordered our food, and we took a seat. It didn't strike me that she was crazy, even as my favorite dish in the world was brought up to our table by our waiter. We ate, joked, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company for the next hour and a half. I didn't want this moment to end, and neither did she, which is why she asked if I wanted to head out together. I didn't drive to the restaurant. I caught a Lyft, given that I wasn't sure if I was going to drink or not. I just wanted to be safe. But she drove, and we headed to her vehicle after we finished up our dessert. She's seductive, she's gorgeous, and she's extremely confident, which was very enticing to me. She knew how to keep a conversation and hold my interest the entire time, which blinded me from all of the warning signs that she was evil. We headed out and ended up at my home without me ever telling her where I lived. That was the main warning sign. But before worry could consume me, she stuck her tongue into my mouth, and I fell in her trap in a hurry. We headed into my house where we made sweet love, which caused me to fall into a deep sleep. I woke up hours later, chained to my bed with cuts all over my body as Vanessa laughed in my face. I panicked and freaked out, begging for help, but she only laughed. She stole my wallet that had all my credit cards, and she began stealing all my jewelry and all of my cash I had stored away in my top drawer. She told me she's been researching me ever since our first conversation, and she did her homework to find out every detail about my life. She told me to keep quiet about all of this, or she would come back and kill me, which was frightening to hear, as she exposed her gun to let me know that she meant business. She then forced several pills into my mouth, and she forced me to swallow them, which caused me to pass out. Apparently, someone called the cops, telling them that I had overdosed in an apparent suicide attempt. I woke up days later in a hospital bed with complete gratitude to my Heavenly Father for me still being alive. I never heard from Vanessa again, but she's still out there, and I'm quite sure she's doing the same thing to other men.